Allahi wa barakatuh. We give thanks to Allah. We ask blessing on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household companions and non-Muslim. Now, yesterday we concluded our prestigious book, that is Nahw. We took the last topic in the book one, and that is An-Na'tu. So today we are continuing with the Na'ts, inshallah. So that's why you see that the topic written here is An-Na'tu wal-Man'ut al-Judu Thani. That's the adjective part 2. So the lecturer still remain Abdul Ghani and Davidson. Now, quick revision of what we were told last time when we were discussing it last night. It was that a nat does not give a complete sentence, and that you can see where I'm scrolling that, and also that nat always correspond with the money out. That means the nat will follow his money out. So what the man'ut is taking, the nat to follow is in what? One, definiteness and indefiniteness. That's in tankil and ta'rif. What you are saying? If our nat is ma'rifa, if our man'ut is ma'rifa, man'ut is what we are trying to describe. Do you get now? Like I say, al-kitabu, al-jamilu. That al-kitabu now is our man'ut. What we are now talking, the adjective we are using to describe it is our what? Is our nat. So if our likitabu, that our man'ut is taking dhamma, so that means our nat will take what? Dhamma. If our man'ut is ma'rifa, our nat will be what? Ma'rifa. So that's why I said it follows it in ta'rif and tankir, meaning in being ma'rifa or being nakra. So look at the examples there. Zaidun. Zaid is a ma'rifa. Somebody who is not well grounded in al-ma'arifu sabun. When we see Zaid taking Tenwin Domotan, the person may get confused that, but this is a nokro now. Zaid is not nokro. We told us that Zaid is a proper noun, so that means it is marifa. A proper noun is the name you have given to a common noun. Do we get now? So we have explained that in previous class. So Zaidun al-Kabir, the big Zaid. So another is what? Darun, this is a nokro. Do we get now? Because it's a common noun. Darun Kabirotun, a big house. So that is that. So from here we can conclude that a nat and man'ut, the process is a marifa process, or what? A nakra process. So that's that. Secondly is that a nat, the nat always follows is man'ut in i'rab. What do we mean by that? If the man'ut is taking nazbu, the nat will take nazbu. If the man'ut is taking jarru, the nat will take jarru. If the man'ut is taking what? Rafun, the nat will take rafun. Look at the example here. Say banoitu, I built al-baita likabiro. Because the bait, which is our man'ut, is taking fatha, is taking nasbu here, the nat too will take the nasbu. So that is al-bait, banoitu al-baita likabiro. Can you see? So this one now said banoitu baitan kabiron. They are both taking nasbu. Why? Because they are what? Because they are not and man'ut. So the man'ut will follow the nat in also what? In syntax, in rob. The third is what? It will follow it in tadhkir wa ta'nith. Tadhkir wa ta'nith. Look at the example. People do make mistake a lot when they want to call this word, when they want to write it down. Many times they will remove the alif and lam here and write lugatul arabiyyati. It's wrong. Do we get? That's why we said that there are some things that we talk about today. We may let you know what will be mudaf and mudaf ilayh, what will be nat and man'ut, so that you not be making mistake with it. So, but let's finish this our revision. So this is tadhkir and ta'nith. So you can see al-lugatu, of course, that is the sign of femininity. So it's feminine. Lugatu is taking this thing. So it's both al-arabiyyatu. So that's why the arabiyya is supposed to be al-lugatu al-arabiyyu. Do we get now? But however, because of because the man'ut is what? Is feminine. So that's why it's al-lugatul arabiyyatu. Do we get now? Another example was fa'ilun mudari'un. They are both masculine. So the nat will be what? Masculine. Fa'ilun mudari'un. Do we get? So that is that. So now with this, everything we have said is just a revision. Now we want to move into what? We want to move to the new thing we want to learn today. Do we get now? And what is that? What are those things that are mostly used for what? Mostly used for what? For nat. So we have told us that nat can be either be nokro, that means the monut being nokro and the nat also being nokro, or marifa, the monut being marifa, the nat also being marifa. Of course, if somebody is not well grounded in ma'arif sabun, you will not be able to easily identify what is nokro and what is marifa for your monut. So that's why it's very, very important you note al ma'arif sabun. So you can see a link here. If you check our Telegram page or the comment section after this class, the notes will be sent there. So you can, if you have not done that before, you can quickly watch it through the link of our Facebook or YouTube of the previous classes to understand ma'arif sabun very well, so that you have a ground knowledge on man'ut. So the next thing we want to look at is, what are those things mostly used for nat when we are talking about ismu mufrad? Do you get now? That means you are not using a sentence as your nat. You are trying to use, what are you trying to use? You are trying to use a what? You are trying to use a single word. So what are those things they use mostly for nat? What are used mostly for nat are the words what we termed as what? Al-awsafu sabun, the 7 special adjectives. The 7 special words adjectives. What are they? Ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, as-sifatul mushabbaha, ismul mubalagha, ismul mansub, ismul tasgir. That is mukabbar is also a wasfu. That means where it is being formed from, that tasgir is being formed from, that word is also an adjective before. Do we get? And the last is what? Ismu tafdil. So those are these 7 that they use mostly for words. They use them for nat. If you don't get this thing very well, you will be mixing up nat with what? You'll be mixing up nat with mudof and mudof ilayh. That's why many people do write lugatul arabiyya instead of al-lugatul arabiyya. But someone who understand ismu mansub, you know that this ismu mansub now, ismu that have that ya on nisba, when you see it after this thing, you know that mostly it will be what? It will be a what there? It will be a nat there. So that's why I said this adjective are always cited in our day-to-day Arabic conversation. So this is our soft sabun. For those who don't know it before, this is a link of the previous classes. We have discussed it at the beginning of our classes when we started them, so you can quickly check them and watch. So we want to use each of them in an example where they are being used as nat in our day-to-day activities. The first one is what? Nat as ismul fa'il. The word you always call many times, al-fi'lul madi is a word, is a nat and man'ut process. You can see that this modi is ismul fa'il. So that's why we can agree that this is a what? A nat. Look at this one now. Al-fi'lul mudari'. Al-fi'lul mudari'. So mudari is also ismul fa'il. So that is why the process between it and the man'ut is what? Is a nat and man'ut process. Now if you look at fi'lul amru, we did not write it there. Why? Because amru is not a wasfu. Amru is a masdar. Is not a wasfu. So because amru is not a wasfu, so we cannot put it under nat and man'ut. That's why the relationship between that one is what? Mudof and mudof ilayh. So if you don't understand all this, I'll solve very well. You'll be having problem mixing things up. So that's why it's very important. Now this is alifriko to Najia, the saved sect. You can see Najia is also ismul fa'il. Tesla Noron Hamia. Nor is feminine. That's why this Hamia to is having town or buto. So that's ismul fa'il. Hamin, something that is covered or that is sealed up. You get now. So we also have the name of our madrasa, al madrasatul mumti'atu. You can see from amta'a yumti'u mumti'un. Do you get now? That's ismul fa'il because madrasa is feminine. The town or buto is here, so it's gone. Al madrasatul mumti'atu. You can see. So when we get to ismul mansub, you will see why this one too is also this way. Now the next is what? Ismul maf'ul. Ismul, some popular words that ismul maf'ul. Example is ta or marbuta. You always hear. So the relationship between ta and marbuta is not what? Is not mudof and mudof ilayh, but rather is what? Nat and man'ut. How do we know? Because you can see that this is marbut, is an ismul maf'ul shape. So that is why it's a wasfu. Another thing we learnt is what? If this marbut can take what's it called? Can take ta marbuta, that means it is qualifying something. You can't just give ta marbuta there. There's something that will justify the femininity. And because what? All the alphabets of the Arabic language, alif to ya, they are all what? Feminine. So that's why after un marbutatun. So that's that. Alifun maksuratun. You can see maksur ismul maf'ul also. Also this also in shape of ismul maf'ul mastur. So wa kitabin mastur. Wa here is this one. You know, we have plenty type of wa in Arabic language. I saw a write up, somebody claimed all the wa in Arabic language is 23. I've seen somebody that wrote 25 type of wa. So that is that. But this one we call this wa ul qasam. So when we see wa ul qasam, it's also an harfu jarri. So that's why you see wa kitabin. So is harfu jarri like fi, mean I swear by the book masturun that is written. Do you get now? So masturun, written, you can see. So they are both taking the same this thing, this maf'ul. So firaqin manshur, you can see manshur, that is spread. Something being spread from nashara or fonka, it's spread it. Do you get now? So manshurin, you can see firaqin manshurin. They are both taking what? They are both nat and manut. So as sifatul mushabbahatu, this also is maf'ul from what? Shabbaha, yushabbihu, mushabbihun, ismul fa'il. So what is this maf'ul? Mushabbahun. So why is that marbuta there? Because sifatu is feminine. So as sifatul mushabbahatu. So you can see it's agreeing with it with everything. Makkatu al mukarramatu. So somebody who is not well grounded, you may think that this is mudof and mudof relay, because the Makkah is not having alif and lam, where it does not need it. Why? Because Makkah is already what? Is already an alam. Makkah is already what? Is already alam. So anything that is alam is also a marifa. So it's marifa on its own. It does not even need any alif and lam. So it's a marifa. Another thing that makes us to know that this process is not amanut is that what? Mukarram is in what shape? Ismul maf'ul shape. So Makkatu al mukarramatu, you can see. So the blessed how will I translate this? The honored Makkah. Do you guys now? Karrama, yukarrimu, mukarrim, mukarram. What is being honored? So that's why. So this is a nat and man'ut process. And that is what? Al-Madinatu limunawwaratu, the illuminated Medina. So Al-Madinatu al-munawwar. So you can see. So that's why the relationship is nat and man'ut. Since this is a wasfu, is an ismul maf'ul shape. And that is an yab'athaka rabbuka maqaman mahmudan. Can see maqaman mahmud is ismul maf'ul nat and man'ut. Al-qurun al-mufaddala. Do you get now? Al-Qurunu al-Mufaddala. That's the first three generation. So the Mufaddal means that is honored. So you can see Faddola. You Faddola is honored. You Fadilu Mufaddil. Mufaddal, what is being honored? So Mufaddal. So it is also in Ismail Maf'ul shape. We have Al-Asharatul Mubasharun. Some people do make mistakes, say Al-Asharatul Mubashirun. No. Because they were giving glad tidings. That's Ismail Maf'ul. Mubashar, Mubasharun. So it's Mubashar because they are much, they are 10. So that's why it's Mubasharun. So the 10 men that were giving glad tidings among the Sahaba. So these are their 10th. Al-Asharatul Mubasharun. So how do we know it's not Amanut? Because this is a wasfu, a small maf'ul. Do we get now? So now the next one to look at Sifatul Mushabbah as also a nat. Allah said, Wakulu qawlan sadidan. Say word sadidan, that is correct. Sadid. Fawzan aziman. Waqad faza wa man yuti Allah wa rasula waqad faza fawzan aziman. You can see Sifatu Mushabbaha. Man yukridu Allah qardon hasanan. Hasan is also a Sifatu Mushabbaha. It's an adjective. So do you get now? Also we have Sawfa yuhasabu hisaban yasiron. Sifatu Mushabbaha. That's why it's a nat. Another is what? Ismu Mubalagha as a nat. There's a song when we went for the Lufasi game, this is the song that we use. Kun Bali someone say Monza yukafi zaharatan fawahatan. Zaharatan fawahatan. That means a what? A fragrant flower. A flower that gives good smell a lot. That's what something that gives good smell is called what? Fawahun. Good that bring out good scent. So we call it fawahun. So zaharatan fawahatan. Ismu mubalagha, not amanut. And that's what la uqsimu bin nafsi lawamati. Lawam. So it's from lama. Lama, he blamed. Lawam, something that blame. So a soul that blame itself, a reprimanding soul that blame itself a lot. Nafsi lawama. Can see sifatun mushabbaha. And then Allah said, Tubu ilallahi tawbatan nasuhan. Tawbatan nasuhan. The relationship between tawbatan and nasuhan is what? Is also a wasfu. So what is tawbatan? It's taking time on buto. This is feminine, and this one too that is qualifying too is like that. But however, you do not see Talmud Buto here because it's in fa'ul shape. So when we see fa'ul shape, it will not take what fa'ul shape when we are using to describe for male and female. It will be in the same way. Do we get now? So that's why Tawbatan Nosua. But what we are taking that Ismu Balagha, can see is used as a nat. So the next is Ismu Mansub. That means ismu that have yaw nisba. You can see the yaw nisba there. Yaw nisba, yaw nisba, yaw nisba. So do we get now? So al-arabiyyatul classiciyya, classical Arabic. Al-lughatul arabiyya, al-lam shamsiyya. A lot of people always omit this alif and lam. That's a mistake because you must agree in tazkir and ta'anis. Al-lamul qamariyya, an-natul hakiki, an-natul ma'nawiyyu, an-najasatul isiyyatu, and najasatul ma'nawiyyatu, that's sensory impurity, figurative impurity. Al madrasatul mumti'a li ta'alimil islamiyyati. You can see the plural of ta'alim is what? Ta'alim. And when you pluralize, you can what? You can feminize. So since this is feminized, that's why the islamiyyatu is having what ta'am. So you not say the ta'alimil islamiyy. But if it's ta'lim, singular, it will be Islamiyyu. But it is plural now, so that's Islamiyya. So that's that. The next is Ismu Tasgir, like one of the name of Aisha Humayra, because Aisha is very wise. Like what this that is from the Prophet that said, Kuzi dinakum min azil Humayra. So from Ahmaru. So do we get now? Ahmaru, the feminine of Ahmaru is what? Hamra'u. So it's not take to Ismu Tasgir. Hamra will now become what? Humayrahu. So you can say Ahmaru, that is also a wasfu. Hamra is a wasfu. So the Tasgir is Humayrahu. So the Tasgir here is for Ta'zim. And also this one, you can say Al-Faratu Fuwaysiqa Fasikotun. This is or a Tahkir. Do you get now? People call all the rats at home that they are Fuwaysiqa. When you see them, you should kill them, because they can cause a lot of damage. So that's why the Prophet termed them fuwaysiqa. So faratu, fuwaysiqa from fasik. Do you get now? So the last one is ismu tabdil. So some popular word we see with that said the ismu rabbikal a'la. So this a'la is also a ismu tabdil, is in afwalu shape. So the kasra is not visible because it will be takdir inside this alif. So when you see a defect letter, if it's taking Fatiha Kesra on Domo, it will be hidden inside. So Al-Masjidul Aqsa, can you see now? So Tabdil Al-Iskandar Al-Akbar. That they always say Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great. So Iskandaru Al-Akbaru. So that's this Tabdil. Barutaniyatul Kubra. Somebody who is not well grounded may think that, Britain. This is Britain. So that's what's an alarm. That's an alarm. Do we get now? Is a proper noun like that. So it does not need any alif and lam again. It's already a proper noun. Do you get now? So that means it's already a what? A definite, is already marifa like this. So that's why we have a marifa because it's feminine. That's why this akbaru is changed to what? Kubro. The feminine of af'alu, when it's used as a tabdil, the feminine is what? Fu'ula. So you can see. So that how do we know it's not amonut? Because this is what is mutabdil, and one of those things that is also used for what? That is also used for nats as a wasfu. Do you get? Another is asma illahil husna. So husna is qualifying what? Asma is not qualifying ismu jalala. So how do we know? Because this asma is also what? Is also what's it called? It's feminine like this because it has been pluralized, so it can be feminized. So ahsanu, the feminine of ahsan is now what? Husna. So for ayaz to be like cannot be for ismu jalala. Do you get now? That means you are claiming Allah is feminine. If you are saying this Husna is for Allah, no, it's for the what? It's for the Asma'u. So let's take note of that. So that's why I say the beautiful names of Allah. So it's not the names of the beautiful Allah. Do we get now? So that's why one needs to understand this nat and money very well, what are being used. So another thing that let us to learn that. So ismu tabdil a nat there. Wasifatul uliya from Allah. The feminine of Allah is what? Uliya. So sifat, because sifat is feminine, has been pluralized, so it can be feminized. So another type of nat. Another is alamatu sa'ati sugro. Alamat sugro, the smallest one. Asgor sugro. Alamatu sa'atul kubro. So the sugro is for alamat. The kubro too is for what? For the alamat. So when something is pluralized, they can be feminized. So and the feminine of asgor and akbar is what? Sugro and what? Kubro. The next one is al-mahkamatul uliya. That we always say Supreme Court. Supreme Court, people always say. So mahkamatul uliya, the feminine of a'ala. So they are both. So what we can see here is that the what are being used mostly for awsaf are the words, the mu'arif word, used for nats majorly is what? Those seven distinct, the seven type of adjective we have mentioned. So try to master those seven very well. We have treated it. You can check our links to get that, inshallah. And also our dictionary too can help you, the official dictionary of the Madrasa, and that is Verbis. If you check any of these seven in Verbis, you see that ADJ will be written. What you see, the right in brackets ADJ for those seven, so that you know that okay, these are the type of words that are used for nats. These are the type of words that are used for what? Khabar. Do we get now? So that's that. Now Ali in of nat and man'ut. Example is akala zaidun lahamun kabiron. Akala fi'l madin mabni ala al-fathi. We have explained to us those that are mabni and murab in our previous class when we begin our solve class, so Nahw class. So akala fi'l madin mabni ala al-fathi, zaidun fa'ilun marfu'un bi dhammati zahira, lahamun maf'ulun bihi mansubun bi fathatin zahira. So kabiron. So we told us that nat is also a tabi'un. What are tabi'uns? Tabi'un, they are words that they follow what is before them. We have four type of tabi'un. We call them the tawabi'un arba. They are four: nat, badal, tawkid, and what? And atfu. Do we get? These are the four. So that's why here we said kabirun, because it's a nat. What is the meaning of nat? Tabi'un. Tabi'un are words that follow what is before them in their i'rab. So that's why I say kabirun tabi'un mansubin, a follower of what is taking nasbu, mansubun. So it is also one noun taking what? Nasbu. So it is following what is taking nasbu. That's why it is also taking nasbu. So that's the meaning of the statement. Tabi'un mansubin mansubun. So when we want to do the verb of nats, so that's why we write it, right? You say na'atun tabi'un mansubin mansubun. So you put it there, na'atun. This one marra anasun bidal kabirati. So marra fil madi mabni ala al-fathi, anasun fa'il marfu' bi dammati zahira bi harfu jarr mabni ala al-fathi. We told that all harfu they are always mabni. Ad-daru. Oh, this is a mistake. Oh, the dar. So this raw, let's take note. It's kesra that will be here. Ad-dar, this is a typographical error. Sorry. Ismun majrurun bi kasratin zahira. Kabirah, you can see this is a nat now. So you put here natun tabi'un majrurun. Natun tabi'un majrurin, because it's following what is taking jari. So it's also taking jari. So when you see the lesson notes, you can read and see that Ja'a Abdullah al-Jamilu. So Ja'a fi'l madin mabni ala al-fathi, abdu fa'il marfu' bi dammati zahira wa huwa aidan mudaf. This abdu is also a mudaf. That's why I say wa huwa aidan mudaf. Ismu jalala Allah, ismu jalala, ismu jalalatin mudaf ilayhi majrurun bi kasratin zahiratin. You get now. So al-jamil. So jamil, because you are using for what? Abdullah. So it's Ja'a Abdullah al-Jamil. Abdullah, the beautiful Abdullah has arrived. Do you get now? So that's why we have tabi'un marfu'un is following what the abdu is taking what dhamma, because mudaf is mudaf al marifa is also a what a marifa. So is that why we have tabi'un what marfu'un, something following what is taking rafun is also now taking rafun. So that is that on the Arab. So you to try to check our the textbook, try to solve some questions in the and try to solve some questions yourself. That's how you can really estimate yourself. So the book is there and it has a lot of tamarin exercise there. So check our this notes will be sent to the comment section of the Facebook page, and to also be sent to the Telegram page. If you have not yet joined, please try to join the Telegram page. Jazakumullahu khairan for listening and watching. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.